Hello and welcome to episode 2 of the Healthy Cooking Plan. I'm Carl, the amazing drinking chef, as you know, and today we're going to be cooking Bolognese. So, without further ado, here's the ingredients that you're going to need to cook the Bolognese. Okay, I'll see you in a minute. These are the ingredients for the Bolognese sauce. There's 200 grams of cauliflower, 200 grams of broccoli, a large sliced red pepper, 2 medium-sized carrots peeled and chopped, a large onion chopped, 500 grams of mince, the leanest steak mince you can get, 250 grams of mushrooms, we're going to slice those, 800 grams of plum tomatoes peeled, like I said before, get the tins. You'll need 4 of the large sized tins or 2 of the very large tins that we get. You're going to need 4 tablespoons of chopped sun-dried tomatoes. If you get the dried version like these, you're going to have to just put them in boiling water for a few minutes before you use them. 8 garlic cloves, 6 tablespoons of tomato puree, a beef stock cube, a tablespoon of fresh thyme, and if you can get it, a tablespoon of chopped basil, a tablespoon of chopped oregano, and a teaspoon of mixed herbs, a teaspoon of sugar, and a couple of bay leaves. Unfortunately, my fresh basil and fresh oregano isn't big enough at the moment to chop from, so I'm having to use dried. So I've got 2 teaspoons of dried oregano and 2 teaspoons of dried basil in there. If you can use fresh, it's better, but as you can see, my basil is too small to cut from at the moment, and my oregano is a little bit too small just at the moment. So these are your ingredients. And a couple of, a teaspoon or a teaspoon and a half of balsamic vinegar. I think that's everything. Right, we'll crack on with making the Bolognese sauce now. Okay? Right, welcome back to my kitchen, and we're going to make Bolognese. So you're going to need a really large pan because we're going to make a lot today. I'm going to make enough for 8, maybe even 10 people. If you want to make a smaller batch, half everything that I've got here, but this is going to easily do 8 to 10 portions, and then we're gonna have some tonight for tea, and I'm going to freeze the rest. So get the largest pan you've got, and we're going to start off browning the mince in a teaspoon of olive oil. And obviously you want to use the leanest mince you can find. We are going to drain the mince. Oh, that's another point. Put your kettle on. Because we're going to drain the mince through a colander. Let's put that there for now. So get that mince in. I've got everything chopped today because people are saying the videos are a bit too long at half an hour. So I'm going to try and crack on through this and get everything done in hopefully 15-20 minutes, but the way I talk it could take 4 hours. So just get that mince. You don't need to cook it because it's going to cook later. You just want to get a little bit of colour on it. And then we're going to drain that and set that aside. In fact, I'll get a pan ready to drain that into. I'm going to put the mince in that and then pull some boiling water over it just to get rid of any more fat that's in the mince, even though we're using really, really lean mince. This again probably isn't going to have more than, I know people are taking a mick out of saying it, but probably not more than 2 to 250 calories in a portion of this. The main calories are in the mince, but if you work out, we're having 500 grams of mince here, and it's going to be between at least 8 people. You're getting 70, possibly 80 grams of mince each. It's not going to be that much. The rest of it is basically 0 calories. You mean tomatoes, broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, peppers, onions, mushrooms, herbs. There's no calories here. Do you know what I mean? All your calories are in the mince. But like I say, it's 500 grams of lean steak mince, and that's going to go easily to 8, and I would say possibly if you're having other things as well, or you want a small meal, you might even get 10 to 12 portions out of this. Just depends on how much you want. If you want to, feel free to add all the calories up. I can't bother doing it, but I mean, come on, how many calories in an onion? 2 carrots, a large pepper, cauliflower, broccoli, mushrooms, tomatoes, garlic, herbs, and tomato puree. I bet there's not 100 calories there. Do you know what I mean? Or maybe a bit more, but not much. And all that, and it's all good for you. It's all nutritious stuff. It's all vegetables. I mean, there's probably 3 of your 5 a day there. We're trying to dry fry this mince as much as possible. I only put a teaspoon of oil in just so it doesn't stick to the bottom. But that's been used. I mean, this mince is really lean. There's no fat coming off this at all. I might not even need to drain it. There's just no fat coming off this at all. So at this point, and it's just starting to change colour, put that oxo cube in. Sorry, did I say oxo? Beef stock cube. Wouldn't want to get done for advertising, would we? Right. Crumble that stock cube in. Keep that stirring because it will stick to the bottom if you're not careful. Keep that going on a high heat, sorry. I've got this right on full, that's why I'm stirring it quick, because if I don't, it's going to stick. Right, that's near enough how I want it. It's all changed colour now. So there's no fat come off that at all. So I'm just going to stick that in this pan. If there was mince was fatty, if there was a lot of fat coming off it, then I would put it in a colander and pour boiling water over it, just to get rid of the residual fat, but that is so lean, there just doesn't seem any point whatsoever. And you'll be glad to know that will save a bit of time. So, I'll just put this into this other pan. Leave that over there. Now, just up to the bottom, it's not much. Don't need to oil that pan really, but because that mince was so lean, I actually am going to put another teaspoon of oil in. Now, at this point, just bung all your vegetables in. The onions, your carrots, peppers, leave the tomatoes and the tomato puree for now. Oh, so you need to drain. I'll need to drain these sun-dried tomatoes. So I'll just drain these. If you haven't used sun-dried tomatoes before, please use them. The flavour you'll get from them is unbelievable. They come in two forms. They come in a jar in oil, they're fine. But I like to get the dried ones and reconstitute them in boiling water. You seem to get more for your money that way as well. Right, here's over there, tomatoes over there, garlic. Keep the herbs there for a minute and we shall just get these mushrooms sliced. Use the tea towel method again on the chopping board. Get that on there. I've sliced some of these mushrooms but not all of them. Sorry, give that a stir. I mean that's just a pan full of vegetables. Give that a bit of salt and pepper actually. And stir that in. And now you want that to more or less cook those now. Just keep that on about medium. That's on a 6 on mine. So just keep that going, but keep an eye on it. And slice these mushrooms. The mushrooms will break down when you're in there, so there's no need to worry about. It does seem like we're putting a lot of mushrooms in, but seriously, it's not. It's 250 grams. You can use chestnut mushrooms if you want, doesn't really matter. But, chestnut mushrooms, I do prefer them, but I couldn't get any, so I'm using the white ones. Right, that's them chopped. Get those in. Get those in. It's going to seem like a hell of a lot of mushrooms, but it's not. They'll soon die down. You won't even notice them. Give them a stir around. Now, I'm going to show you what this looks like because it's just basically a pan of vegetables. In fact, at this point, leave your bay leaves out, but you can throw all your herbs in. Thyme. Give that a stir around. Now you want to get a lid on this and really let this cook down for a good 20 minutes or so before we put those tomatoes in. So I'm just going to give this a stir now and I'm going to give you a look at this. Oh sorry, I forgot the garlic. Get the garlic in. Again, I'm going to chop 4 of the garlic cloves and crush 4 of them. Get the garlic crush and crush the other 4 in You don't have to do this, you can chop them all or you can crush them all. It's entirely up to you. I just think it tastes a bit nicer if you crush some and chop some. It's completely not a personal choice. You do whatever you think's right and whatever you like or prefer, or whatever's easiest. If it's easy just to crush them all, then just crush them all. You're probably not going to taste any difference, it's just me being funny. Once you've got all that garlic in, press in there. Mushroom escaped. Get all that garlic in. Again, it's going to seem like a lot of garlic, it's not. There's a hell of a lot of food here. Get that all mixed round. Now, I'm going to show you what this looks like because it doesn't look anything like a Bolognese. Throw your bay leaves in. Now you're going to have to remember to take these out at the end. You can leave them in, people, I don't know. Some people say leave them in, some people say take them out. I like to take them out. I don't like leaving them in there. Right, I'll show you what that looks like. I've got somebody else here helping, not really helping, it's getting in the way. That's what it looks like at the moment, a pan full of vegetables. Honestly, it's going to be a Bolognese sauce, it's not going to be a vegetable sauce. It's going to be great, but I'm going to put a lid on this now and just let it simmer away. Just going to let that simmer away on a really low heat. Probably about, give that a stir, just give it a quick stir. Put that down to a 2 and we'll leave that there for about 15-20 minutes and then we'll come back and finish it off. Okay, see you in 15-20 minutes. Okay, that's about 15 minutes. And that's just all nicely reduced in there and salt cooked now. So you want to put in there a teaspoon of balsamic vinegar. Maybe just don't put too much of this in. It really is powerful stuff. So a teaspoon of balsamic vinegar. Give that a bit of a mix up. And we can get the tomato puree in. Just mix that in. Oops. And now for the tomatoes. And like with the curry, you're going to want to break those up. Keep breaking them up. They'll break up themselves over the next 20 minutes, half an hour while they're simmering, but just give them a bit of a lift. Try not to splash it all over the place. Right, okay. We can get the mince back in now. And you're starting to see why I'm doing this in a really, really big pan. Just use the biggest pan that you've got. Right, we can get the broccoli and cauliflower in, same thing as the curry. Break that up into your food processor. And like I say, if you don't want to do this much, then just half every ingredient that we've put in and we'll get it for 4 to 6 people. Okay. And just get this in, if we can get it all in the pan. Again, it looks like you're putting loads and you think it's just going to taste of broccoli and cauliflower. Well, if you've cooked the curry, you know by now that it doesn't. Because like I said before, if it did, I wouldn't eat it. Because broccoli tastes horrible, and so does cauliflower. So if it tasted of that, I wouldn't be eating it. Right, it doesn't look like a bolognese at this stage, I'll grant you, but in about half an hour, it will. And it's going to be absolutely delicious. Really, really healthy. And 200 to 250 calories a portion. You can serve this on a number of things. You can put it on some spaghetti or any type of pasta. Whole wheat, obviously, if you're being healthy. Or you can put it on the cauliflower rice that we put the curry on. It's nice on the cauliflower rice, or even a jacket spud. Put this on a baked potato and it's really, really good. But that's basically it now. There's nothing else to do except let this simmer for a good, well, as long as you can let it simmer for at least half an hour, probably an hour. Let it just cook and reduce down. I'll show you what it looks like. Well, you can probably see, but I'll show you now what it looks like, because it looks nothing like bolognese at the moment. But it's not going to look like that in a good half hour to an hour. So let's get this back on there. So basically that's it. Just make sure you've stirred all that in. Just make sure you've broke those tomatoes up as much as you can. Then just get a lid on it. We're going to leave it for at least half an hour. I'm going to check it in about 20 minutes, just to give it a bit of, well, give it a stir every 10 minutes, and we'll come back to it in about half an hour, maybe even 45 minutes, but just leave it on. I've got it on number 2, I'm going to leave it on number 2, and when it's done, I'll tell you how long it's took, but it's usually half an hour to an hour, okay? Okay, that's, well actually, just over an hour, and it now looks completely different. I swear it's the same thing. I'm going to show you. Now it looks like a bolognese, whereas before it just looked like a pan full of cauliflower and broccoli. Now I think you'll agree, it's a bolognese. And that's just been simmering for half an hour, well sorry, an hour, just over an hour actually, about an hour and 5 minutes. And I've just had a quick taste and it's absolutely gorgeous, and you can't taste any vegetables at all. It just tastes like a really rich tomato bolognese. Beautiful. I've got a little bit of pasta cooking and I'm going to serve it up. Just put the camera back on the stepladder tripod. And basically that's it. That has now had a good hour and it's perfect. It'll actually be even better tomorrow. Turn the cooker off. In fact, that can go off now. Put the lid on, leave it there, or put it on a pan stand and leave it overnight, and everything will infuse, and tomorrow that will be absolutely gorgeous. Then you can start portioning it out into freezer packs and putting it in the freezer. Or like I said before, if you want to just make half for 4 to 6 people, or 4 really nice large portions, just half all the ingredients. In fact, if I've got time, I'll put this, what I've done, and half everything as well on the actual video. I'll try and do that. I've got a little bit of tagliatelle to put it on, which is just about ready. Just to let you know, it's 5 weeks now since I started doing this eating plan. No, it's an eating plan. 5 weeks since I started, and last week, up to last week, I lost 22. I've lost another £6 this week, so I'm now on 2 stone weight loss in 5 weeks. You probably can't tell, but there you go. My clothes feel a bit better, and that's 2 stone. Not sure that is in kilos. Is it about 13, something like that? 12 or 13 kilos, but anyway, I'm really pleased. Things are working and I'm eating really, really nice food every day. This bolognese you're going to absolutely love, and again, a couple of 100 calories, can't beat it. So, I'll serve it up now. Let's get this pasta. Okay, and on there. Keep getting done, keep getting into trouble. I'm putting my spoon on the countertop, so girlfriend's put a plate there so I don't get into trouble anymore, and she doesn't have to clear it up. So let's put this in there. We're having a treat, we're having real pasta because we've run out of brown pasta, and all we had left was this tagliatelle from a recipe I did ages ago, so we're having real pasta. Probably have to do 6 marathons tomorrow to burn it all off. Okay, let's get this over here. Well, like I said, that is plenty for 1 person. Yeah? And there's probably 12 in there. I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow when I start freezing it. But there's at least 10, if not 12 decent portions like that. Like I said now, get that off the heat, put the lid on and leave that till tomorrow. Don't freeze it until tomorrow because all those herbs and spices and everything that's in there, and tomatoes and garlic, will all infuse now, and tomorrow that'll be a million times better. As I did with the curry, it's just nice to have that little difference of taste. Put a little bit of cottage cheese on the top, like that. Just gives it something, and there you go. Bolognese. Give you a quick look at tonight's tea, dinner, whatever you want to call it. Bolognese. So, I hope you've enjoyed the Bolognese. Another one coming next Thursday, hopefully. Not quite sure what it is yet. If you look on the Facebook page, you can get me on the... I've actually got the Amazing Shrinking Chef on Facebook now, and the Amazing Shrinking Chef on YouTube. If you go onto my Facebook page and like it, then you'll see all the updates and notifications. And also, if you could go onto the YouTube page, the Amazing Shrinking Chef, and subscribe, then every time anything goes on there, you'll get it straight away. So I hope you've enjoyed that one. This is meal number 2. Meal number 3 up for the next Thursday. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week. Thank you. Bye bye.